Hello, everyone. It's John from India Cine-Maniacs with another 10-minute review, India Cine-Maniac style. Um, Before I begin, so don't count this towards my 10 minutes, okay? Don't count this towards my 10 minutes. So I want to talk a little bit about the poll that I am currently doing to pick the next movie. Actually, it would be the third movie. So I put a poll out. I put 5 choices that you guys have recommended, and I think we've got just about 300 people who have voted for this poll. Um, but there's been some interesting comments about it that some people are just disgusted with the 5 choices, and they think it's a waste of time. And of course, opinions vary. Everyone's got a different opinion. So here's the challenge. So first of all, I appreciate everybody commenting. It's wonderful that you guys are commenting on what I'm doing, and you're very supportive, and you give me a ton of recommendations. The problem is, people are giving me 5 to 10 recommendations, and from that, I have to whittle it down to 5 that I put in the poll. So some people are going to be happy, some people aren't, because some people love the movie, some people hate the movies. So here's what I'm going to do on the next poll. I haven't posted it yet because the other one's not quite done. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I would like you to pick 2 movies that you would like to see a review on. I'd like one of them to be a comedy, okay? And one, let's go with a sports theme, okay? So one pick for sports, one pick for comedy. Then, based on the comments, if there are common threads throughout, if a lot of people pick the same movies, those are the ones I will put in the poll. Okay? Now, before you put the sports film, you cannot put Dungle. Believe me, I want to watch that movie, and it's not just because Amir Khan's in it, but it's not available in the US. It's available on YouTube, but without subtitles. Now, if one of you want to send me a DVD and with that movie and it is subtitled, I would love to do that. So message me, let me know. I just got a PO box. I can have you send it there, but that's up to you. Okay. So please don't beat me up on the polls. Okay. I'm doing the best I can. And by the way, I also think people, because you've really gotten to know my tastes, I think people are giving me movies that they think I would enjoy based on what they know about my taste. So I appreciate you guys getting in the poll. I'm getting beat up a little bit, but hey, that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set my timer. Now we're going to go with the 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. Okay, the movie this week I am going to do my 10-minute review on is Ra.One. I believe it was 2011. This is Shah Rukh Khan's big leap into the superhero genre. A lot of you recommended that, and that's why I've got my Superman shirt. And before I review this movie, I want to give you a little context. I am a huge fan of the genre. Huge. In fact, in 1978, I went to the New England premiere of Superman, and it was one of the greatest movie experiences I've ever had. A full theater full of critics who were cheering when he catches the helicopter. And I happen to think that is the best superhero movie. That's my number one choice. And you're going to say, well, it's kind of dated now. Even the effects are a little dated. Might be true, but there's a few things about that movie. One, it was the first one to take the genre seriously in a big budget film. Richard Donner, the director, took it very seriously. And I don't think you'd find a better Superman. And I love Henry Cavill as Christopher Reeve in that film. No wokeness, no cynicism, stayed true to the comics. It also said to the movie industry, you can make these movies and they can be successful. I also, out of all the Marvel movies, I think Captain America Winter Soldier is the best. They took a sideline character like Captain America, and he really wasn't an A-list character, and turned him into very cool. But also, the thing I loved about it was the practical effects as opposed to a bunch of CGI, which those movies are known for. And probably my third choice would be The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's Batman, for a couple of reasons. One, it was really grounded. So if a superhero could exist today, this is what it would be like. And I think Heath Ledger is probably the best villain performance in any of the movies. And I mean any of them. and a well-deserved Oscar too. So I just want to give you a little context before I start talking about this movie of where I fit in the genre. So Ra.One is an amazing looking film. And it's funny because it opens with that dream sequence. And of course, you've got two big cameos with Sanjay Dutt and Priyanka Chopra, who's actually been on, I think, a U.S. show, Quantico, who's big in India. But they did a little cameo there in that opening scene, which I thought was pretty cool. So overall, I'm confused about this movie. Is it made for adults or is it made for kids? I'm going to throw that out to you guys because I did like this movie. I wasn't bowled over by it, but I did like it. But it seemed to me that it was really made for kids because of some of the goofiness and some of the silliness that happened. Even his character in the beginning, when he's the nerdy programmer, just seemed kind of silly and not based in any kind of reality, which is okay, especially if you're making a kid film. But there were a few scenes in there, and as always, there's going to be spoilers because this is such an old movie. But at one point, Ra.One throws this coin or disc or something at one of the programmer's mother, a Chinese lady, and slices her neck. And then the father, played by Shah Rukh Khan, gets killed by his program character. But now, when it first happened, he gets slammed into a car, and I said, "Okay, he must be badly damaged." But then the next scene, he's dead, and I was like, "Well, that's not really a kiddie film, is it?" Because when it started, like the opening, the first, I don't know, half hour, maybe 40 minutes, they did things I haven't seen before in Indian movies. Like, at one point he's trying to show how cool he is with his kid. So he does Michael Jackson dressed up as, doing bad. Then they had this like juvenile humor. And again, I'm not saying it as a criticism. I'm just saying it seemed geared towards little kids. There was a soccer match where he gets hit in the balls by a soccer ball. And there's my crush, Kareena Kapoor, putting ice on his nether regions. I mean, that was, I've never seen that. Then there was a scene where he loses his keys in a woman's cleavage, and he walks up to her and he's trying to get it from her. And I just haven't seen anything like that. So I thought it was kind of, like I said, juvenile humor. There were other things. I mean, like even at one point they called Kareena Kapoor, and I completely understand this though, called her a yummy mummy, which is such an American thing. So I was surprised to hear that. But so that really confused me. Now, as far as the story goes, he's a programmer. He creates a character, and somehow the character comes to life. They don't really explain how, but the character's evil because the kid wanted a character, a villain that couldn't be beat. So his father programmed this villain, Ra.One, and also a hero, Go.One, which eventually Khan plays. So I mean, there was no really explanation. And when Ra.One comes alive, it's pretty brutal what it does to the program. Then it takes over these people and they go on these rampages. So that was kind of cool. Now, the introduction of Go.One, which is Khan's character, was cool, except for the fact you really never saw how it happened. And I think I saw a trailer where they showed it being built with these little cubes, digitally. They didn't show that in the movie. He's just there. And it's a great scene where he saves Kareena Kapoor, his wife, and his kid. But I don't know, that didn't make much sense. Now, this was a big budget movie, and you can see it. The special effects I thought were great. His costume, I thought both the costumes were really good. I thought his hair as Go.One was kind of stupid, although when he was the nerdy father, his hair was awful too. Now, there was a funny line, because you know me, I always talk about the hair. All these Indian actors have just fantastic hair. Well, Go.One, the programmed character, looks at a picture of the father, the dead father, and says, "Bad hair." Now, I thought that was funny. An inside joke about how much good hair there is. There was a lot of other things I liked about this movie. There was a scene where he meets a famous actor who's robot man, and then I find out this guy is I want to say this right, Regina Kant, who was in Theron and played a robot. And I guess this was a big deal, and when people saw it in the theaters, they went crazy. So that was that. I knew something was up, even though I didn't know who he was. Um, again, like the songs in it were good. They were completely, thought, a little bit out of place. And there was a song about booty and boob jokes in the song. And again, I've never seen that in Indian movies. So not only were the songs a little out of place and frankly out of character for the people doing them, but they were a little again, is this goofy thing for kids? I don't know. And at one point and this I really liked. There's a song by Benny King called "Stand by Me." Most of them, "Stand by me, you stand by me." It was used in the Stephen King. I can't even think of it now. Oh, "Stand by Me." That was the name of the movie. And I thought they used it effectively. They used it in the burgeoning relationship between Kareena Kapoor's character and Khan's character as they developed their relationship, and it was a different version of it, so I really liked that. And at one point, acoustic guitar, so I thought that was good. The sizzle and siren number at the end that the robot, not the robot, the programmed character Khan does, I thought was good. Um, so I did like the movie. I wasn't uh, like I wasn't overwhelmed by it. I don't put it up there with some of the better Marvel movies. I put it up there with some of the crappy Marvel movies, and there's been a lot of those. I thought the train scene was amazing, and I actually went on YouTube and looked up how they did some of that, and even the making of it was amazing. The practical stuff that they actually did, and Khan was, a producer on this, and he wanted things to be a certain way, and I think he accomplished it. I also know this movie was a big hit, but what I want to know is, was it a big hit with adults, or was it just the families that went to see this movie? I know a lot of Indian movies are for the entire family, but this to me seems like if you're 10 to 15 years old, this is the movie for you. If you're an adult and you like the genre, you'll like it, but it was kind of it was a little childish. And I don't mean to be too harsh because I did like it, right? So but with that in mind, that's how I looked at it through that prism. If I was a kid, would I have really enjoyed this movie? And I would have to say yes. And the scene at the end where he confronts Ra.One and he sacrifices himself. I thought, and the guy who played Ra.One at the end, I don't know, I don't even know the actor's name, but he was good. He was evil. And the kid who played his son, I thought was also pretty good. Um, didn't wasn't overly precocious. I will say this about Kareena Kapoor, who I have a thing for, okay? In all the movies I've seen her in, I think she looked the most beautiful in this film. I don't know what they did, but every time they showed her, they had a fan in front of her. The way it was shot, and then she does that one dance number where she was sexy as hell. So, yeah, it just upped my fandom for Kareena Kapoor. So I want more movies with Amir Khan and Kareena Kapoor because I'm such a big fan of both of them. So that's my review. I liked it. I thought it was more of a kid movie than an adult movie. And again, based on where I stand on the genre, I mean, if I was to say out of 10 stars, what would I give it? I'd probably give it a 5. I mean, the money's on the screen. You can tell they spent a lot of money on it. And I thought, even though I thought he was goofy, I thought he was kind of charming in both roles. And I see what his appeal is. But that's it. Let me know what you think. Some of you had really strong opinions for and just as strong against. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay. Oh, one other thing. I think I misspoke at the beginning. The poll is over. So the film I am going to review, my next review, is going to be the Hindi version of Gun Genie. Amir Khan, it's a spin on Memento, Christopher Nolan's Memento. And I'm going to review that one. I'm really looking forward to that. I already seen the trailer and it looks Very interesting. And you already know how I feel about Amir Khan. So some of you are going to be happy. Some of you are going to be a little ticked off. But like I always say, be a bridge, get over it. I'm doing my best. But that will be the next one. As always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these. I'm really having a lot of fun doing them. And I hope, once again, you appreciate me trying to pump out content. So please, I hope I've earned your subscription. Hit the notification button. And as always, smash the like button. It really does make a difference. Thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you next time with Gun Genie.